Hey everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and I'm going to show you how to sprout the most beautiful microgreens to give any of your meals a little kick. This video is sponsored by Mumm Sprouting Seeds. I have been using their seeds for years, so I reached out to them while I use their seeds to show you how to sprout them. And so they sent me some really cool stuff here. They gave me a few more sample seeds that I don't already have. They also gave me some wonderful microgreen trays. They gave me their signature product sprouter that utilizes a simple canning jar. They created this stand to hold it vertically so any excess water drips down. It creates really good air circulation for the seeds, and it comes with a wonderful little plate here. These are some examples that I will show you how to do. This is red clover, broccoli, an Eastern ancient blend. I'm going to be showing you how to do some wonderful pea sprouts and so much more. Mumm Sprouting Seeds would also love to give anybody who wants to order off their website 10%. So you can use the code everything10. The only thing is they're updating their website this year, so that code can't be placed in the cart, but you can definitely give them a call or go on their website to their contact page and shoot them off a message. Say, hey, I just watched a video from Everything Homemade channel. I would really like to place an order. Could I use Everything 10? And they will assist you from there. So without further ado, let's have some fun and let's get sprouting. So today we are going to be sprouting the crunchy bean mix from Mumm Sprouting Seeds, and you can see here the beautiful array of color. In this particular mix there is peas, lentils, and gazebo beans. And gazebo beans, another name for those would be chickpeas. And this is a wonderful mix where you only let them sprout for 4 to 5 days depending on how warm your room is. And you just let the sprouts come up and then you put them on your sandwich or in your soups, and it adds a dimension of crunch, and I really love these sprouts for it. So I'm going to go in detail on exactly how you're going to do this. So first of all, you need is a jar, and I'm just using a simple wide mouth canning jar. I have a stainless steel lid that you can order these from Mumm's as well. It has just a separate screen and then the lid, which goes in and onto your jar. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to rinse your seeds. So after you open the package, and I just cut the top here off, you want to open it up. And with beans, I usually use a half a cup into my jar. So I'm just going to measure here. There we go. So I have a half a cup here. I'm just going to pour it into my jar. Now all seeds have a bit of dust on them, and what I like to do is add just a little bit of water at first, and I'm just going to rinse that dust off. And then you can pour that down your sink or into another container. Usually I'm doing this downstairs where I don't have my sink, and I actually keep all the water I drain out from all my rinses, and I put it into a watering can. I actually water all my plants with it. So that's if you are saving water, that's one way you can save water while you're also fertilizing your plants at the same time. So now that your seeds are rinsed, I'm going to add more water, and this step is really important. You want to fill up your container where you're at least a couple inches over your seeds, and this is the soaking period. I like to soak my beans between 12 to 24 hours. So I will literally leave these for 24 hours, and that really speeds up the sprouting time. You don't want to go less than 12 hours though, just because beans take a lot longer and lentils take a lot longer to hydrate. And so this step is critical. The other thing is you want to make sure you have enough water. If you don't have enough water, then your lentils and chickpeas will just dry up because they do need a lot of water to hydrate. So you rather put in more than less. At this particular stage, I just put this on my counter out of direct sunlight and let it sit there for 24 hours. Okay, now that we have our seeds soaking for 24 hours, we need to drain the water out. And this water is really good for plants, so keep this water, water your plants with it. It's free fertilizer and they love it. Okay, so once I drained out the water, I just want to place my jar vertically again. And you'll even see at this point that they're going to emerge from the seeds. And I'm going to show you pictures up close exactly what it looks like. But at this particular stage, I just kind of shake my jar to evenly distribute it at the bottom of the canning jar. And I leave my canning jar like this on the counter out of indirect sunlight, just at room temperature. Just make sure that your canning jar is away from kids that can get their hands on it on the counter, or from cats that can roll it off. So you want a secure place for the first 2 days. After that, what you want to do is place it on the stand. And it'll look something like this. And you'll notice by the second day, the seeds have bulked up to twice the size. So you're going to be filling up about half the canning jar at that point. What's really nice about this crunchy bean mix is that you only have to wait 3 days. 4 days if you want the sprouts to be a little bit bigger, but the real point of this mix is to give that really crunchy texture to, let's say, your sandwiches or soups. And so you're just waiting for the sprouts just to emerge. You need to make sure that you're rinsing your seeds twice a day. So I like to do it while I'm making breakfast, and then I like to do it just before I go to bed. And that is as simple as grabbing your jar, taking the lid off, placing the water in just enough to cover your seeds. And I always like to give it a little swirl, and that way any seeds on top here or around the lid that are stuck go into the water. And I just leave it there for 30 seconds to a minute, and that's all it needs. Then I grab my bowl and I strain out the water, just like that. And that's how you're going to rinse it twice a day. After the first day, you're going to notice that your lentils and your beans and your chickpeas are just about to emerge the little root. After a day and a half, that root gets a little bit longer. It actually makes a quite big transformation, but after 2 days, you'll notice that the root will triple in size. It's literally grows like crazy. By 2.5 days, you'll notice a tiny little sprout appear, and then by the 3rd day, that sprout is more evident and it's ready to eat. Once you hit this particular stage on day 3, I'm going to show you how to store your sprouts and enjoy them. You can definitely see the transformation, and I'm just going to place the canning jar a little bit like this, and you can see the tiny sprouts. It's a little harder to see, but you'll see it a little bit better once I place it into the container. So at this particular point, these sprouts are ready to eat. This mix is meant for a crunch, and it definitely delivers. So let's get these sprouts out of the jar and put them into a container. So what I have here is just a simple Pyrex container. We're about 1.5 inches in height there, and I just find this one to work perfectly for me. You can definitely use glass or plastic. That's totally up to you. What I want to do is grab a piece of paper towel. I have 2 pieces here. I just fold them in half and then fold them in half again, and that just creates a perfect rectangle. Now there's a lot of moisture in these particular seeds, so I don't need to moisten my paper towel again. The other thing is, with these seeds, I don't need to wash them like I do with the red clover and the broccoli. So what I'm going to do is just take the lid off, and I'm just going to dump them in. And so as you can see here, there are little sprouts right here and right here, and you can just see them, and that's exactly the stage that you want to eat them, is when you can see these tiny little sprouts. You don't want to go any further than that. These seeds here, I'm just going to grab a gazebo bean right here, are delicious when they're eaten like this. Absolutely flavorful. You got wonderful peas here, like this one here. And one of my favorite ways to do this is to put this mix in a salad, or let's say tonight I will put it on top of my brown rice, and I'll kind of mix it in with my brown rice. And when I take a scoop of my rice, I also take a scoop of this wonderful mix, and it adds this new dimension of flavor. It really gives a nice crunch to it. I love the pea flavor of the chickpeas and the peas itself with the lentils. It's a winner. I love this mix. With that being said, you want to definitely store your beans in the fridge. If you want to do that, you either want to place your lid on an angle like this for air circulation. You can close it up, but you have to have holes on the top. Otherwise, mold will grow. These seeds can last about 10 days in the fridge. You may have to spray them every 4 or 5 days just to keep these sprouts moist. Otherwise, store them in the fridge, enjoy them, and I will show you once again how I like to eat these sprouts. You've got to try this with rice. I love how it just brings a whole new dimension to rice when you mix it in. It gives that wonderful crunch, and the flavors of the beans are so delicious with it. It's really refreshing. It's really light, and it tastes so, so good. You really gotta try this.